Thank you, President Hartzell, and thank you, Past President Patty. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. And thank you, Chuck Harris and President Jeans and the Texas X's. This honor means more to me than I can really describe. I don't have descriptive terms enough to describe the deep emotions I feel. I also want to thank my family, many of whom are here, especially Melinda. Thank you for your love and support through the years. I also thank Chris Del Conte, Robin Gibbs, and John Beckworth, my dear friends, for their time, thoughts, and comments. All three of you are very good friends who have been a part of my life in times at UT in different ways and at different times, and I appreciate it very much. I congratulate each of my fellow honorees. I've been privileged to know some of you before this weekend and have enjoyed so much getting to be with the rest of you then. It's delighted to spend a special weekend with you, and thank you and congratulations to you. The University of Texas has been a core and meaningful part of my entire life. While in high school, I came here to watch football games. There was a special pricing deal. Del Conte will revolt at this, but there was a special pricing deal across the street where students could get in for either a quarter or 50 cents and sit in the north end zone. It was called the Knothole Gang, and it was a lot of fun to do that. The stadium, the size of it, the team, the band, the pageantry, everything just enthralled me at that time. I was a little kid from a small town, and to be in Memorial Stadium with the team and the crowd and the excitement really set the hook for me. That was over 60 years ago. Okay, I know I look fabulous, but it was 60 years ago. It was 60 years ago, and of course, at that time, I loved it, but I had no idea that this place of purpose would be where I would later come and learn my purpose and my destiny. As a senior in high school, I was recruited by several colleges to consider playing football. UT, with, again, the stadium, Coach Royal, Coach Campbell, and the others had a unique feel to it. It was a vibe, an aura, an excitement, and quite a challenge. Despite being told by some places I might not get to play much until I was a senior, I wanted to come here. I wanted the challenge. I wanted to try to be a big fish in a big pond and not off at some other school. So being a Texas Longhorn football player in those days was so rewarding. Some of my teammates are here. The friendships we forged a long time ago have intertwined our lives now for these many years and decades and into generations of our children being friends and now grandchildren. The opportunity to play at that level was so exciting. The 63 national champs had set a standard. We had a couple of tough years there in 66 and 67, but in 68 it really got rolling again, and we started the 30-game winning streak that is the longest in school history. Our coaches were very good teachers. They not only knew the game, they knew how to impart their knowledge of the game. So you were expected to become a better player every day, and the improvement was incremental. You could see it and feel it. And the ties that we forged back then are palpable and real and just so much a part of each of us that were on those teams. The chance to meet so many Texas Longhorn supporters and the Texas X's was also just a real strength and addition to the program at that time. And looking back on it, that decision to come here was not just a choice, but it turned out to be a calling. The video you've just seen captures my lifelong journey with the University of Texas. Jay, I don't know if you started something tonight, but I did write this before hearing you early. I came here as a green-ass freshman. You started a trend straight out of a small school, and I was just awed by the size and the breadth and the depth of the richness of the University of Texas. There were 4 years of great growth, some success, some real challenges. The biggest plus, of course, was I met Melinda on a blind date, March 12, 1966, and we've been married now for over 53 years. In addition to that great fortune, I had outstanding professors who taught me how to think and how to analyze and how to write. After graduating in May of 1969, together, Melinda and I married that summer, and then came law school with great challenges, but what a blast that was. Great classmates, professors, mentors, others in the legal community that you become a part of. Next, we became alumni and continued our support through a lot of endeavors. We were at a young age blessed to have both loved this place and thrived here, and we remained engaged and committed in money and service and other ways of remaining an integral part of the community here in Austin. Then, as happens, lo and behold, our children came here. So we started so many of these activities again, and it was so much fun to be here with them again. Well, Carter, I guess I'd have to say most of the time. Most of the time. A life-changing event occurred in September of 2015. We went to Chicago. We love Chicago. We really like that city. That particular trip, however, didn't turn out so well. We played Notre Dame that Saturday night in South Bend, and we lost the game. We were beaten very badly. Labor Day, September 7th, 2015, about 6 o'clock that evening, President Greg Fenves called me, and after a very short conversation, he got to the point and asked me to come up here to be the men's athletic director. I told Melinda I'd never gotten a phone call like that in my life. Let's do it. She said, I'm all in. And 48 hours later, we were in Austin beginning the transition to take on that job. The following week, several well-meaning friends called and said, well, welcome to the most, well, maybe not the most, but at least the second most visible job in the state of Texas. And there's some days when it is more visible than the governor's job. So welcome. But those 3 years were some of the greatest years of our life, to work with our students, their parents, high school coaches, our great staff. We had a remarkable staff there that have continued to thrive under the great leadership of Chris Del Conte. Our coaches, many of whom I developed a close and personal relationship with, that have continued. Conference leaders, the Big 12 Conference, athletic directors all over the country, faculty, administration, our auxiliary services here on campus, the many stakeholders around the state that have a genuine and abiding interest in the athletic program at the University of Texas. It was absolutely remarkable. I was privileged to begin the background legal and financial work on what has become the Great Moody Center, such a cornerstone of this part of the campus and a draw for not only athletics, but the entertainment and collaboration between different aspects of the university community with performances and all of that. Working with Nike and our other great sponsors, just a great opportunity to see the interest that continued support comes from industries and others that have ties to the University of Texas. Learfield, our media rights partner, donors, large and small. The passion and love that people feel for this place is just never ending. And it's a resource that Chris has tapped into so strongly and so fervently. It's been absolutely wonderful. And of course, working with the Texas X's on projects here and in other cities and villages around the state and in other parts of the country. It's just been fantastic. And those 3 years were hard years. They were a lot of miles, a lot of long hours, a lot of days. But for us, it was 3 long years of absolute purpose and meaning and fun, especially when we won. I've got to confess that just a couple of months ago, the cycle started all over again, as our oldest granddaughter, Grace, is now a freshman here at the University of Texas. So I've run through all that to say that my life has involved, revolved, and evolved with the University of Texas. I've been privileged to see UT from so many different positions: as a high school prospect, a recruit, undergraduate, law, an alum, a parent, donor, high-level administrator. It's just been a remarkable opportunity to get a 360-degree around the angle, above, from top to bottom, the great institution that we have here. And I can, having seen that from so many angles, I can attest to you that this is a university of the first class. It is a university that changes the world. And I know it because I watched it not only in my life, but with our athletes, when you would see that they came here untested perhaps academically and learned by challenges to get an education and get maturity and obtain the opportunity to go and thrive on a bigger stage. So yes, this place does change the world, but it starts by changing the people that enter here. Personally, I'm truly blessed to have experienced this richness in so many ways for so many years, and it's been an absolute journey of joy and an act of love to come back 50 years after I was an entering freshman. So thanks to all. I appreciate it. Thanks for this great honor, and I look forward to visiting further in a few minutes. And as I close, let me just remind everybody, we're Texas, all of us, we're Texas, and hook 'em.